Hello and welcome to the Yogscast. In this video I'm going to be taking a look at Blackrock Caverns Normal, which is a level 78 to 83 dungeon. This is something you're going to want to do levelling up, but you want to do it before you hit level 84, because at that point you won't be able to queue up for the dungeon finder and the quests won't give you XP.
Basically, the earlier you do it, the more XP you're going to gain from the quests and killing the mobs. However, it's going to be more difficult.
The instance is located actually almost next to Lower Blackrock Spire. So once you go into the main centre area, you need to take this entrance here. For the corpse run, you will be spawned in the centre spire and need to run up, across the chains, and round to get back into the instance. An alternative way to find the entrance is to take a quest that will send you here from early on in Herald. The quest will actually require you to click on a mole machine, which will spawn you here. And once you've discovered the dungeon entrance, you can click on it again to send you straight back. The instance is very doable at level 80, although some of the abilities hit very hard, so a bit of Cataclysm gear can really help out because of the extra stamina. However, most of the damage and most of the difficulty comes from the mechanics of the fights themselves.
And let's face it, most of us don't pay attention all the time when we're doing 5-man.
So this is something that you probably won't be able to go in with a pickup group and expect to kill the bosses straight away. However, in this video we're going to have a look at the general strategies for killing these bosses, and that should make your life a lot easier.
And doing the quest is really easy. You pick up the quest at the start from Finkel, you kill all the bosses, which you were going to anyway, and at every stage that you kill a boss, Finkel talks to you magically via a communicator and gives you XP and gold, and then you go off to the next boss. Easy, easy.
So the first boss is this enormous ugly ogre guy, I guess. Spikes on him. I'd say he was possibly one of the most difficult bosses in the instance. He has several abilities that are annoying, and if you're under geared will kill you. So first of all, he has a quake, which will cause everyone to be covered in a dust cloud that they have to move out of, and if they don't, they'll take damage. But the main ability is this Chains of Woe, where he traps everyone in chains and you have to DPS them down. As long as you're quick with targeting and killing the chains, there should be no problem with this fight. But the chains can be a little bit difficult to kill quickly, especially if you've got...
If you're a hunter.
Yeah, and you're just stuck meleeing them. So when he finishes casting the chains, he will do this AoE attack that hits everyone in melee range very hard, and that will kill anyone who's left in it.
The Skull Cracker. It's like 100,000 damage.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's even more on heroic,
yeah.
And it will just kill anyone who gets in melee range. But you know, you have plenty of time to kill the chains usually. Otherwise, you know, no problem. It goes down pretty easy and you get the next quest. The second boss of the instance is Caller, Herald of Twilight, who comes with 2 ads who will be charged up by beams coming from the captive dragon. People in your party need to take turns to block these beams before the ads can charge up to transform into a dragon.
The key to the fight is to have a player stand between where the beam's coming from and the dragon, sort of like bodily block the beam.
In an ideal situation, both of these beams will be blocked all the time, but to make the fight more simple, one of the ads can be allowed to transform, tanked and killed. When you stand in the beam, you gain a stacking debuff, and when it hits 100 you will be mind controlled. You need to swap out before you get 100 stacks and have someone take your place. There is actually room for one person to tank each beam on their own if they're careful with the management of their stack. If they let it stack to about 75 and then move out of the beam, wait for it to cool off, they should be able to get back in the beam before the zealot transforms. If you do get a transformed zealot up, they have 2 nasty abilities that can hit the tank very hard. One is a Shadow Strike that hits for around 40k, and another is a Gravity Strike that hits for about 70% of the target's health. So these can very, very quickly kill your tank. So yeah, with good beam handling, this fight is absolutely no problem at all. So the third boss of the instance is Karsh Steelbender, who is a Draconid guy, and the idea of the fight is to actually drag him into the lava waterfall in the middle of the room, which will melt his armour. However, you can't really leave him in there too long, because the longer he's in there, the harder he hits, and it will do AoE damage to the raid as well. On this attempt I actually took him to 9 stacks of the debuff, which is too much, and actually one of our party died. But the more stacks he has, the more damage he takes, so as you can see we actually get him down very quickly. When his debuff runs out, the vents, which you can see on the floor here, will spew fire, so make sure no one is standing on those when his debuff fades. This fight is really about the tank dipping him in the lava for long enough. So to get about 5 or 6 stacks is just right. The fourth boss of the instance pits you against Beauty, who I believe is the wife of the beast. Do you reckon she's like...
Beast's wife.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is the beast's family.
Beauty and the Beast.
You have to unfortunately...
There's little babies.
You have to unfortunately kill all of the little babbies
What?
in order to pull her. You can pull her with all the little babbies if you want, but but they obviously hit pretty hard.
Is there an achievement if you like keep all the babies up?
I don't know. That would be a good
I think
idea
it's
for an
gotta be.
achievement. She's not particularly difficult on
It would
normal
be.
mode. You shouldn't kill Runty though, because she will enrage and eat your face. So yeah, be careful of that.
Disappointing. They're all core pups. That's what they are.
They're lovely.
Little core pups.
I mean, it's a bit odd for you because you go into
Um,
instances with like Finkelstein, your core hound, and the core hound pet with the authenticator, and then you have to kill like 7 core hounds. It's kind of like,
It is a bit odd.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the last boss is Ascendant Lord of Sidious. This is an elemental chap who comes with 2 adds when you pull him. These adds have a really nasty mortal strike, so they can't be tanked. And what you need to do is you need to kite them around instead. Druids are amazing because they can root them, but obviously most classes do have some form of CC. So if you've got a Death Knight, he can chains them, and you know, Mage can just pop a slow on them or whatever.
There's lots of threat wipes, and he teleports into the ads. They swap place. So it all gets a bit mad. It's quite chaotic.
It's very chaotic, but you just need to make sure that you focus on slowing and kiting the ads around, and there should be no problem at all. He doesn't really have any other particularly nasty abilities on normal mode, so as long as you watch out for that, he'll go down pretty easy. So there you go. I mean, that's Blackrock Caverns normal mode. We are going to do some more heroic bosses in the future and show you, the strategies for them. So you can look forward to that.
They're going to be short and sweet and informative.
Like a gnome.